All right, so I haven't gotten as many charts out this week. I've been pretty busy, so I thought I'd do a video covering Bitcoin and Luna today. So what I have up here, I have the monthly chart for Bitcoin. This is just labeling the overall market cycle. So we have in green here, the primary degree waves. So wave 1 topping all the way back in 2013, wave 2, wave 3 topping December 2017, wave 4, which the bottom here, December 2018, that was the start of the current bull cycle, and currently in wave 5. My outlook is that we haven't quite topped yet in wave 5. I think we're probably in wave 4 of 5. Even though it's possible on this time frame to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I think we're probably just having a longer wave 4, and we'll eventually go up and make a new high to complete this. Once we do finish this green wave 5, which I think could come up as high as 200K, maybe even higher, if we're getting an extended fifth wave, which was what I think could be happening just based on the length, the size of each of these waves in comparison to the size of each wave in the previous cycle. If that happens, then we'll see around 200K, maybe even more. Now this orange wave, this first wave, this is cycle wave 1. All right, so all of these 5 waves is going to complete Bitcoin's very first cycle. So this is all a very, very large wave 1. Once we complete this wave 1, I know a lot of people think that we may not get bear markets the way we have in the past, and we'll just kind of move sideways with little pullbacks. But I think we'll see a pretty massive crash. I think 80 to 90% is easily on the table. The depth of this wave, this cycle degree wave 2, this orange 2, will determine once we establish a wave 5 in place. We'll come up with a forecast for that. But general guidelines. I mean, historically, large corrections for Bitcoin could be up to 80%, 90%. 78.6% retracement is a common area as well, so we can draw some fib levels. But a 90% drawback, if we went to around 240K, that would put us near this third wave top to come back down and retest this level, which is also where I think this fourth wave in progress could get to if we continue to trend lower for a longer period of time. All right, so we've got the monthly RSI here on the bottom. Looks like kind of have a trend here of peaking out right at this top black line here. So we haven't quite hit that this cycle, and I'm not sure that we will. Actually, so notice wave 1, if you look closely here, you actually have a little bit of a bearish divergence as this peaked. So this high was higher than this high. But this high is where the actual price peak was. Now wave 3, you don't see that. It's more of just kind of, there's little pullbacks along the way, but it's mostly up only because it's a third wave, and you really do get the peak right at the top. All right, so waves 2 and wave 4, they both more or less pulled right down to this bottom line, about a 43.46 here. So in terms of longer term corrections, this may be a level to watch. But so far, our peak in RSI, so this is actually our third wave peak right here. And that's so far the peak in RSI. What I think is going to happen as far as this indicator goes is that we'll come up, price will come up and make a new high, but this probably won't register above this peak. I don't think it's going to touch the line. I think it'll fail. Will they come back here, get a bearish divergence as we peak out, finish this cycle in this wave 5, and then come back down? Now, even though we might get a huge crash for this wave 2, keep in mind that this orange wave, this is just a wave 1. That means that a wave 3 is next. And so the next cycle should probably be, more similar to this. This third wave, this kind of relentless pushing upwards, should be larger than this wave 1. And I could easily see this carrying Bitcoin, to $1 million plus per coin, optimistically. All right, so let's check out Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly chart, we'll just zoom into our current market cycle. So we have this green wave 4 here, the primary wave 4. That was 2018 bear market bottom, start of this bull cycle. So far we need 5 waves. We need 5 waves to complete this cycle. Intermediate degree waves are these red waves. So these red waves will make up a green wave 5. All right, so we've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. These are all confirmed to be in place. Currently undergoing wave 4. I think we're getting a complex correction for wave 4. There's a few different possibilities that are on the table. My preferred outlook is that I think that we're probably going to break this 28K low. I think we're likely to break this 28K low, maybe even come down and retest this third wave peak, right around 20K or so. And that also coincides with our 200 week moving average here, which has acted as a pretty strong support range. So we can see that's where we bottomed here. We bottomed, we actually pushed below it here, but still gained support right around the area. As far as where our close and open was here, even though the wicks go down below. And we may see it act as support again. Not guaranteed that we go down that low. There's a couple of strong support levels higher than that, around this kind of 26K range. There's also the possibility that we trace out a triangle here that's not currently ruled out. So we could come, maybe this winds up being an A, a B, a C, a D, an E, and then maybe move higher from there. Could happen. But my preferred outlook at the moment, and what I think is most likely, is that we just push down here to finish, wave Y of a complex correction. All right, so Bitcoin on the daily. So these little purple boxes, FGI, that's the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. So just little sentiment readings, with price changes along the way. All right, so what I think we have here, so starting on the top, I think this little drop here, this 3-wave pullback, I think that's wave A, because I'm viewing this as a 3-wave rise. And wave 5 here needed 5 waves. It can't finish in 3. All right, so it doesn't really change the outlook of the count, whether you end it here or make this a B wave. At this point, it doesn't really matter. So I'll just leave it as is and not worry about it. So we've got A, B, C, so a W. So this kind of sideways rally here, a wave X. From the top of here, we have a pretty clear 5 waves down. Looking at that as wave A. Pretty strong rally that we've had over the past couple of weeks. I'm viewing this as a counter trend rally, as a B wave. A lot of people were calling this a breakout and expecting that we would just keep floating up to new highs. I don't think that's the case. I think we've already reversed and we're heading back down. But as of right now, this to me breaks down as actually a 3-wave rally and is very, very close to invalidating a bullish impulse pattern. All right, so we have kind of wave A here, which is just a 3-wave move, so it can't be a wave 1. Wave B, and then we have 5 in wave C, right? So we have 3, 3, 5. that is a corrective pattern, so labeled as wave B. And it hit resistance, it's just above this prior fourth wave. That's a common resistance level. The trend channel here was actually adjusted. It broke above the previous larger trend channel. But it also couldn't push above this orange line. So this is the anchored volume weighted average price from the top of this B wave here. Really, we would have needed to push above this as well and held that in order to get or really have a real chance of a sustained reversal. And to say, instead of this being a counter trend B wave, maybe it's a wave one heading up higher. But as of right now, we have 3 waves up, and now we're pulling back. If you're looking at traditional TA patterns, you could call this here a bear flag at this point, because we've actually broken down from the trend channel of this rally. And now this purple line, this is the equality relationship, so between this decline here, this wave A, and what this wave C could possibly become. All right, so if wave C basically the same length as wave A, and also travels at a similar rate of change, so declines at a similar pace, then it will reach about 28,700, and right around the bottom of this trend channel. And coincidentally, it will be just before the next Fed meeting, which is March 15th. So whether or not we see a bottom in both traditional markets and crypto there, I guess we'll have to see. But as of right now, this is actually suggesting that we could see a bottom somewhere around that time frame. I do think we'll at least hit the bottom end of this trend channel, possibly break it. If we break it, the levels of support that I'm watching are this volume weighted average price coming in here, right around, so it'll be around 25K, maybe 26K by the time it reaches here. And this purple line, I don't think we'll go below this purple line. This is what I see as kind of the most likely worst case scenario, which is a retest of the 2017 peak, right? Which is kind of right around that 20K level. I wouldn't rule that out. I think it's possible that we get there, but what I'm really looking for is for this wave C to form 5 waves lower. Once this wave C makes 5 waves, we should see a rally, right? So this, look back here, this wave A, we got 5 waves down, and then it was followed by a rally. Happened to be a corrective rally, but it was still a rally. So this wave C, we should be getting 1, right? Wave 2 is here. I think we're in the middle of wave 3. So we have a wave 1 of 3, maybe a wave 2 of 3. If we zoom in and look close, that means that wave 3 of 3 should be starting, should probably be larger than this wave 1. Push aggressively lower is what I would expect. And based on wherever this wave 3 ends, it doesn't have to push below here, but if it pushes below this trend channel, then we still have a wave 4 and a wave 5. I'd be looking at these lower targets. If it's a smaller wave 3, and then we bounce for a 4th wave, then I'd be eyeing the lower end of this trend channel. But either one could be a possibility. Bottom line is that this wave C, it needs to finish in 5 waves. This little red line here where it says bearish confirmation. So this is the key level where we can definitely rule out an impulse wave for this move up, right? So where it's gone so far that there's no way this pullback could possibly be a 4th wave, because it's overlapping where you would have a first wave. All right, so let's jump over to Luna. Actually, a different chart. All right, Luna. So Luna on the weekly chart. All right, so we've got 5 waves up, 5 minor degree waves, these blue ones. That forms intermediate wave 1. All right, so we've got a wave 1 in place. We're looking for a big second degree correction, which we're getting. I think we're right in the middle of that right now. Now we have broken, actually, this bull market, this bull market support trend line. Which is really not good if you're looking for a reversal right around this area. But it does at least help confirm the outlook that we're getting a larger degree second wave. As far as how low could this go? So Luna very, very commonly hits the 786 retracement. There's no guarantee that it gets this low, but I wouldn't rule out a retest of this third wave peak. All right, so we could, come down here, find support right around this 22 area, and then, blast off higher for wave 3. Now, if it gets really bad, so this fourth wave here, this is all the way down at, right around $4. I don't think we get that low, but the previous fourth wave, that's a common support zone, especially for second wave corrections and deep corrections. So if for some reason, we come down here, let's say we bust through that level, the next lower support area actually would be all the way down here. But I think the stronger candidate is probably this third wave peak. Now, just above that, so if we get a more shallow retracement, we have the 61.8% retracement, which we've almost hit already. We've already come down to 43, so that's sitting right at 40. But for Luna, the 618 is actually a pretty shallow retracement. It usually hits the 786. So 618, maybe it does that, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that's that's guaranteed by any stretch. So checking out the trend lines here. So we have the 10-period moving average, or 10-week moving average here. So just the behavior of Luna in relationship to the 10-week and the 50-week moving average. So you can see here, anytime it came below here and closed below, you got a pretty significant sell-off. Back up here. Close below, bam, big crash. Here, close below, straight down, broke this trend line, rejected at the trend line, and trend still seems to be lower from here. Now, it's been getting support, though, at this 50-week. All right, so this wave 2 here, with just below it, came back up. This wave 4 came just below it, came back up. Now here, this is a larger degree second wave, so maybe we push all the way through. But I would watch this as a support area. So it's going to be coming in around 35, maybe just under 40, depending on when we hit it. So that's another possible support zone. All right, so the count for Luna on the 4-hour chart. So considering a large wave 1 to have finished here, we're correcting the large wave 2. I'm viewing this as a double zigzag going down. All right, so we have A, B, C, wave W, bounce for wave X, 5 waves down for wave A, a corrective rally for wave B. Then we've got, so it looks like wave 1, wave 2 already in place, and now we're heading lower in wave 3. So actually very similar to what Bitcoin's doing right now. And the expectation here, so just same as Bitcoin, is that this wave C needs to be in 5 waves. So we have wave 1 and 2. We need a 3, a 4, and a 5. Once we get 5 waves down, there should be a rally. Now, whether or not the rally is corrective or whether or not it's a real reversal, we'll have to wait and see. But once we get 5 down, we should get a rally. Just like here, we got 5 down. I didn't think this was over, but we still got a rally. Right, so you have basic trend of 5 waves in the direction of the trend, and then 3 waves correcting the trend. So in this case, a rally moving higher when the primary trend is down. All right, so a couple other targets other than fib levels. We can actually view this kind of as a head and shoulders here with a slanted neckline. If we just extrapolate a target here, that actually gives $32 as a target, if we view this as a head and shoulders pattern. This little red line here, so saying rolls out a smaller degree wave 2. So what this would do is basically say that it's gone far enough that this move up, so from here to here, can't be a wave 1, and this correction can't be a small wave 2. At this point, it's almost gone far enough to rule it out, but technically the invalidation for that level would be right here. And so that's Luna. So I'm looking for this move. So we have wave 1 and 2. I think wave 3 is in progress. So we want this wave C to finish 5 waves down. So wherever it lands, somewhere between minimum, say around 40. Could be worst case scenario if it grinds on for a long time, as low as 22. But we'll just have to see where it lands. But whenever this is done, kind of anywhere in this area, then we should see another rally back up. All right, have a good night.